In this episode, we want to focus on calf rearing mistakes you're most likely making. Number 1. Poor heifer management. These will range from poor feeding and other stress factors that affect the growth of the heifer, both before and after insemination, to poor management when it's in calf, such as improper steaming or dry cow management. This could give you a weak and healthy calf and also make it hard for the in-calf heifer to give you good milk production after it calves down, such that you're not able to get enough to feed the calf. Dairy farming has to be broken down into good daily habits, good feeding, good management, have proper records of when the heifer is inseminated so that you can also know when to start drying it to prepare it for calving. After the cow has calved down, most farmers leave the calf to fend for itself. Failure to feed colostrum within the required time could compromise its immunity and therefore work against all your efforts going forward. The cow and calf should be separated and the calf fed on as much colostrum as possible for the first 6 hours. Want to know why, especially in the first 6 hours? Tap the video link in the description below. Number 3 is dissatisfied calves, which we could dub kupimia ndama maziwa. In point 1, we talked about how improper management leads to poor production. When this cow calves down, it's dependent on to give milk for tea in the house, the one kids will take to school, and milk to sell, etc. The calf ends up being neglected and sometimes doesn't even get enough milk. If you're supposed to feed at least 4 liters of milk to the calf per day, and your cow produces 4 liters, as a good farmer, what do? The good in this case is very fluid and depends on how you interpret it. Number 4 is poor feeding management. We have always advised that you should start introducing feeds to your calves on day 3. A handful of pellets and minerals, hay and water. As a side note, we always say sahani ni tatu. This helps in rumen development as well as delivering all the nutrients it requires for growth and development, but most farmers don't follow these. Without proper feeding, it is definitely obvious that your calves won't grow well. Number 5 is poor living conditions. Go to most rural areas and ask what happens in the kitchen. I can assure you that's where you'll find most calves. Others are left to just roam out without good accommodations. A calf requires its own unit, clean, well lit, proper ventilation, away from strong winds, and also ensure some good bedding. The size of the calf pen should also be considered as it should be comfortable. Remember, stress to any dairy animal affects its growth. Number 6 is bad hygiene. Now, here is a question. In the area your calf stays, can you comfortably hold a meeting? Can someone bring you a cup of tea and you're comfortable downing it? If you were to sleep there, will you be able to? If the answer to these questions is no because of hygiene practices, how do you expect your calf to be comfortable? How often do you clean the buckets and other containers used? We have told farmers to give a handful of pellets, but there is one smart farmer who will decide just so that they don't keep tending to the calf. They'll fill the trough and let the calf consume it slowly. Mimi nitaweka gunia mzima kakule pole pole. Before you know it, it's all moldy and your calf is having diarrhea. If your calf lives on dirt and eats dirt, you can't expect it to be free from diseases, which in turn affects growth. Number 7 is overfeeding. We mostly don't put this on the list, but most farmers are either doing too little or doing too much. We visited a farm where calves were being fed up to 8 liters of milk, which in turn affects how it feeds on the hay and pellets, and so rumen development is affected. Others use the same bucket they use for milk to feed water. The calf smells the milk, takes too much water, and before long it's urinating blood. Pellets should not be more than 2 kgs as well. Everything has to be done in good measure and instructions should be followed accordingly. Lastly, you need measurable goals and targets guiding you. Weigh the calf at birth, ensure it gains an average of at least 800 grams a day, and you should be able to inseminate it within 13 to 14 months. It should also have calved down within 22 to 24 months after birth. This means you have to not only have good management practices, but also do it consistently. Now remember, if you lose it at calf rearing, you probably will lose a genetic potential you may never be able to attain again. The calves of today are the milkers of tomorrow, And getting it wrong in calf rearing is dooming your farm and your efforts for the future. All hope is not lost though. If you have been doing things wrong, you can start today. This is an image that shows the transformation of a calf after a dairy network's consultancy where we changed its feeding program and improved its management. Look at the before and after. Amazing transformation, right? There are only 3 things that you should ever do after making a mistake. Admit it, learn from it, and do not repeat it. Use that mistake as a stepping stone towards greatness. For more information, dairy farming consultation, or to order our own brand mineral supaphos kiwination, call us on 0759 945 708. Also follow our socials, Facebook at Dairy Networks, Instagram at Dairy Networks, and check out our website www.dairynetworks.co.ke.